Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video from Overbike Gaming. I am the majestic Snare and this is my disembodied voice talking about Warframe and shit. So welcome, thanks for clicking on the video, thanks for getting involved. The usual gumph, just like and subscribe if you like and want to subscribe. If you don't, that's fair enough, it's cool. Today's video is all about 1500 hours in Warframe and what it kind of feels like. I've been running a series of doing milestones of my time in the game and how it's kind of feeling different as time goes on, what my kind of priorities, what do I want to do in the game, what do I want out of the game, how I see it's going in the future, bit of speculation, that kind of thing. So I want to be vaguely brief because I think these videos can go on for quite some time and just go on a bit, to be fair, so I'll try and keep it as short as I can. So after a minute of talking nonsense, let's get into the bare bones. So after 1500 hours in about 2 years, that accounts for, well, 2 months. So 2 months of actual time, straight time, I've been playing Warframe in 2 years. So yeah, that's crazy. That's a 12th of my life since I've been playing the game. I've actually been playing the game. So what does that mean? You know, after 1500 hours, how can you possibly still be playing that game? For those of you that are not familiar with Warframe, I don't know why you're watching this video, but if you are not, Warframe is definitely one of those games that gets its hooks into you and rewards the grind for the most part. Certainly when you start out, it's all new, turning around corners, and it's just opening up in front of you. There's so much to get involved with, and I think if you started the game now and you're looking to see kind of an opinion of somebody that's been playing for some time, certainly I would say that the game can be overwhelming. It needs a lot of kind of hand-holding with understanding how things fit together. The tutorial element of the game, no matter what you're doing, is okay in places and non-existent in others, so bear that in mind. But after 1500 hours, I'm sat here in the kind of collector mode now. I've put some money into the game over the years now, where I'm obviously buying platinum. I do it when there's a particular discount sale, you know, from your daily rewards. If it's a decent one, 50 or 75%, I will use those. I haven't seen too many of them, but when I do, I purchase a bit of platinum just to support the company, which I do believe they need a bit of support from the people like me who can afford it. You can get platinum from stuff in the game. It's definitely still a free-to-play game, but certain elements have been in the past seen as a little bit supporting hungry, platinum hungry. I don't know what you call it, but certainly from the point I'm playing now, I'm trying to collect all the bits, all the weapons, all the warframes, and there's still some that are eluding me. Some of the kind of what you'd call end game content. So not just the basic Warframe missions, but stuff in the Railjack, which is the sort of space fighter element of the game, which does seem to be linking into the future story and narrative that's going on in there. So I'm just playing sort of collector's catch up, as I like to call it. I'm pretty much there with most kind of ranges of weapons, but there are a few that are eluding me, and that's kind of fun, having a bit more of a focus. It's kind of strange when you start out, the focus is clear, you want to get up through the levels and you want to, you know, experience and open up the map and do all the story, get to the second dream, which is the well-regarded best game mission I think I've ever played. As you know, I think it's a right moniker to give it. I do really rate the story that brings you to that point. Will not spoil it for you, even if you are probably a veteran of Warframe by now. But I definitely think it's a story that's worth telling. I'd love to see Warframe brought into some other media. They've already got a comic book out that came out 2 years ago. I'd love to see some element of a series. I mean, we've seen it with The Witcher. There's so much in Warframe that you could play around with, sort of prequels, and even just have a sci-fi show based around some of the factions or something and build a bit more lore into that. It could be fantastic. But that's by the by. We're not talking about other media, we're talking about the game. So the game for me at the moment is a lot of it is on autopilot. So when I'm playing certain missions, I can kind of just not engage my brain and just carry on. I'm experiencing stuff that I never really got round to previously because it was stuff I wasn't that into, and now it's becoming a little bit more important to get the things that I want to get. Most of the special events, you could call them, popping up like the acolytes and things like that. I've spent my time there to collect the necessary mods and noggles and all kinds of stuff. And I watch pretty much every dev stream now. I wouldn't say I'm a full-blown addict, but I'm pretty close to an addict to Warframe. I've had my moments, my ups and downs. I didn't really like the Old Blood when that came out. After playing through it, it improved for me, and I did sort of rescind on some of the commentary I'd made on that. But still, that's another area that I haven't really extinguished all possibilities, but they've done some tweaks recently to make it a bit easier. But the grind of those weapons that you get from the liches is pretty damn tough and ongoing, especially as most of the weapons that I've picked up so far are ones that can self-damage, which is disappearing soon. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention in this video, and that's the most recent dev stream. I think it was 139, where they were talking about a lot of changes and reviews and kind of reworks to stuff in the game. A lot of the damage on shotguns is being worked on. There's self-damage is going to be no more. The way that things escalate and level, that's all being looked at and changed. So there's lots of things going on now that could change the game, but looking at chat during the Twitch stream, fucking hell, that was divisive. So there could be a number of elements coming forward in the future that may kind of sink or swim for the game. I don't know how much it's going to affect me. I do like using a shotgun, but purely for the damage that it can deal. I'm still learning after 1500 hours, and that's an important thing to note. I'm not spending as much time fiddling about with min-maxing mods, and I'm sticking with a couple of Warframes that I feel comfortable with. I've still got to get Grendel for a change. You know, that is eluding me for a mission that's just really tough to feels like almost impossible to do on my own. I'm not the world's best Warframe player. Let's be frank about this. I do what I do, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing with friends. But I'm not going to be classed as a top tier end game player. I've still got lots to learn. I'm just, I treat this as I would treat any game, and that's I like progression, and progression for me is the collection of stuff in the game. To work up a particular weapon, get used to it, work it out if I like it or not, work out how the mods work with it. That's all fun and great. But I've recently got my MR27, so I'm well on my way to getting to the current top level. I think I've only got maybe 50 grand worth of XP to get. So it's there, and then I'll do my MR28 test, and I'll be in the top 1.5% of players according to Steam anyway, if I get to that level. So I don't know what to delve into. I mean, I was rewatching my 50-hour review recently, and it came across as a really open-minded approach to the game, and it was full of potential, full of hope, how the game would pan out, how it would work. And I look back at that video now with a lot of fondness. It's done very well on the channel, actually, a couple of thousand. For us is fantastic. We don't get that kind of viewage. Viewage, is that a word? Probably not. But I definitely sat down and thought, what does 1500 hours mean to me? What is the important part? I've had burnout periods, so that could have been higher by now, but it's not. That's by the by. I generally think that in pretty much any game out there in the sphere at the moment, the passion to produce and keep the game alive, good decisions and bad on DE's part, has been there, and I think that's a really important point to focus on, and that is that DE as a company, they've got a vested interest to keep Warframe alive and to keep people playing, and I think it's going to be around for quite some time yet. I don't think it's going anywhere soon. Obviously, with all the virus talk of coronavirus going on at the moment, there's a possibility that TennoCon won't be happening this year, which would be a shame. But I hope there'll be something digital to rely and fall back on. So we can only hope. I can see him just reminisce. I think it's a lovely game, and for anyone that likes basically spending time with something and crafting it over some period of time It feels like for a lot of things you get in Warframe, you've earned it. You've really earned the place of that particular, I don't know, spare decoration you might get from watching a stream, or doing conservation, which I never really delved into before. But now I've got a badge to say I've got some tags from every animal on one of the open areas. And bearing in mind, when I started playing, it was probably a few months after Plains of Eidolon dropped. So I've been through the Fortuna update on Venus, where it's another open world, and hopefully we'll get another one soon, to sort of split it up a little bit. But I've had such good fun with Warframe over the years, and I'm not going to be stopping anytime soon. So I'd use this point for anybody that is watching right now, to honestly ask if there's anything that you'd like us to do. I say us, it's going to be me because Lee doesn't like Warframe. But if there's anything that you'd like me to do in terms of a video about Warframe, I'm open to suggestions, because I really want to kind of give you my views on Warframe, but they've got to be from the heart and what I think at the time. And with Warframe, it's a game that you can always come back to, and there's always something happening, whether it's stuff that's coming around the corner, getting the hype train going, or if it's talking about existing mechanics, and what's in the game and how things are going. I'm up for any kind of suggestion, so let me know down in the comments if there's something that you'd like to see me do. So that'd be cool. So until next time, guys, I'm going to leave it there. But as a roundup of 1,500 hours, I would say it feels like a fucking marriage right now for me. It feels like I've had my ups and downs in this relationship with Warframe. We've had good times, we've had bad times, but at the end of the day, we've put the work in, and we've got something at the end of it, which is a shit ton of floofs and quite a lot of shit in my orbiter. I've got a railjack, second home, but at the end of the day, it's worth its time, and I've had such a good time with it so far. So long may it continue. So guys, take care of yourselves. Don't forget we have videos coming out every Wednesday and Saturday, so check back then for some awesome content. And as I said, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. So guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, love you. Bye bye.